The Public Works Committee. We're meeting this evening, Tuesday, January 5th, 2021, at 6 p.m. Actually, it's probably about 6:02 p.m. right now. We're meeting via remote video conferencing. And with that, I'm calling the meeting to order. And item number 2 is to review the DPW report. Joe, do you have something for us there?
I do, and I apologize for not getting a written copy to you. Due to some unforeseen circumstances. Part of the report includes departmental updates, and I don't have everything from all of the work groups. So I do have a narrative, though, that I'd like to share, and I expect that I'll have a full report out to everybody by the end of the week. Wisconsin Rapids celebrated 100 years as a city in 2020. Public works projects, maintenance, and activities were successful despite COVID-19 creating some operational and staffing challenges. Weather cooperated for us in the spring, allowing for an early start to our construction work. Some project work was carried over from 2019, from the storms in 2019, and all of our 2019 and 2020 projects were complete well before the first snowfall, and time was available to facilitate an unplanned extension of 14th Place and the construction of a temporary stormwater pond for the Rosewood subdivision. Public Works construction projects completed in 2020 include the 2019 Centralia Center parking lot project and the Chase Street from that last block of Chase Street from 19th to 20th Avenue. 10th Street water main replacement from Grove to Airport. 2nd Avenue South from the West Riverview Expressway to 10th Avenue. Washington Street from 12th Street North to 18th Street North. The Wilson Street approach to the West Riverview Expressway, that was reconstructed. Concrete pavement repairs on the East Riverview Expressway at County Highway W. The 14th Place South Utility pavement extension and stormwater maintenance area. 2nd Avenue South at Highway 54 and Highway 54 turn lane safety project at Seneca Road. Our concrete sidewalk curb and gutter maintenance. Alley paving near 2nd Avenue South, and the milling and overlaying on Baker, Chestnut, and 4th Avenues. The budget for design and construction for the street portion of these projects was $1.919 million, and as-built costs were $1.785 million. So we were just about $134,000 under budget. The sanitary sewer construction budget was $585,000, and as-built costs were $290,000, but some sanitary lining work didn't happen. So we were effectively under budget by $139,772 for the projects that we did. Our storm sewer construction budget was $2.9 million. As-built costs were $1.86 million, so we were $293,000. And our as-built costs were $186,000. So we were $106,000 under budget there. The water main construction budget was $275,000 for equipment and labor, as the water utility provides for the materials outside of our Public Works construction fund. So the as-built costs for equipment and labor was $232,000 or $43,000 under budget. So all in all, I'd like to give kudos to the staff and management of the Public Works construction projects. We came in at $424,080 under budget for those activities. City residents and area communities enjoyed the opening of the new aquatic center, pickleball courts, park and ice skating area. Amid the COVID-19 pandemic, operations were challenging, and staff has been reviewing what worked well and where we can make some sensible improvements. A goal was set in 2019 to assess and improve the organizational structure of the Public Works Department so that we could provide the service, the best value services to serve the city's needs. Several changes have been made thanks to staff, mayor, and the Common Council. The engineering department is better positioned to meet design and scheduling needs, and the street department management structure has evolved to include an additional street superintendent. This person has been promoted from within and will begin duties here early in January. We will be able to facilitate better planning, operational oversight, safety, training, mentoring, and administrative responsibilities with these changes in place. The city and staff earned 2 prestigious awards in 2020. Derek Budsberg earned the 2020 Central States Water Environment Association's Laboratory Excellence Award, and the city earned the National American Public Works Association recognition for the West Side Pump Station Force Main project. These are symbols of the dedication to service demonstrated by our staff, the mayor, and Common Council support. Looking forward, there are several more retirements within the Public Works team in 2021. Mentoring our staff and evaluating our methods to maximize proficiency is a high priority. We continue to strive to develop a sustainable transportation system and reduce some burden of special assessments. We're excited that the mayor and Common Council have a shared vision to explore creating a transportation utility model that results in a fair and sustainable method for financing the city system of streets. Updating the city's capital improvement process remains a high priority for Mayor Blazer, and staff is eager to work with him on implementing GIS to aid in development and public transparency of a robust capital improvement process. Improving internal communications, safety procedures, and a vision to provide the best public works service possible is a continuing goal, and I'm proud to be working with a fine group of people dedicated to making our public works operations the best it can be. And I will have some highlights off to our alderpersons and on the city's website by the end of this week.
Thank you, Joe. And if there's no questions by anybody, we'll go to item number 3. That's to review the 1 Mile Creek stormwater dredging project scope. And Joe Eichstead, I believe you're with us. If you want to talk about that a little bit, we've talked about this before, and it's back in front of us this evening. So.
Yeah, so I'll cover that. So at the previous 2 Public Works Committee meetings, actions to either affirm or expand the project have been delayed with concerns expressed about possible funding challenges. Project budget and scope for the 1 Mile Creek project. This project is budgeted to be financed from the Stormwater Utility Fund, which is a user fee-based fund, separate from the general fund or any other fund. And therefore, there's a financial ability to perform the project as budgeted. The approved project allows for the dredging of the lower pond and fixing the lower dam. Based on preliminary estimates, there's an additional $40,000 needed if the scope were expanded to remove the upper dam and dredge the upper pond. I won't go into additional information because that's enclosed in your packet and that's been discussed over the last several months. If the project is performed in 2021, the engineering department needs to begin developing easements, plans, permit applications, and administrative preparation without further delay. So staff's recommendation of at least options to consider are to consider a motion to define an expanded project scope other than what can be accomplished within the approved 2021 budget of $270,000. And this may include a motion to dredge the lower pond, repair the lower dam, remove the upper dam, and dredge the upper pond for an estimated $307,000. Another option available would be to consider a motion for a budget amendment to stop the project and remove funding for 2021. Or third would be to take no action, which would essentially affirm the project as defined in the approved 2021 budget. The staff recommendation remains that the best value to the city is to dredge the lower pond and repair the lower dam. But obviously we've heard of other desires and things that maybe need to be considered. As far as finances, the council did approve the project budget and scope for $270,000, and that would be paid from the stormwater utility. And that budget allows dredging the lower pond and fixing the lower dam.
Thank you, Joe. Is there any, I guess Alderman first, is there any questions, committee members of Mr. Terry?
Thanks, Tom. This is Dean.
Okay. Dean?
Yeah, I'm just confirming with Mr. Terry. So staff's recommendation would be number 3 to take no action, correct?
Yeah, either take no action or affirm the budget.
Okay.
That would be the direction that I'm leaning towards, right at the moment anyway. I do believe we do have another couple online. Are the Stoltzes there? Or would they like to say anything?
Yes, we're here.
We're here.
Okay. Okay.
Well, in reading what was sent out, we understand the position of the city requiring a compromise. Speaking for us, and the property owners on the upper pond, I know we would definitely appreciate the dredging of the upper pond, and if the compromise is to remove the upper dam, that would be something we would have to consider, and I understand that.
That would be option number 2 from Joe.
Mr. Chairperson, just to clarify also, I have confirmed with with our finance director that the stormwater utility does possess sufficient funds to perform option 1.
That's the lower pond and the lower dam.
So what is budgeted is to do the lower pond and the lower dam.
Correct.
It's an estimated $40,000 additional to remove the upper dam and include that dredging. And while it's not currently budgeted, the stormwater utility does have those funds available. Obviously, that would take a budget amendment because it is a different scope and a different amount. But the funds could be available if that's the direction that the committee and council wish to take.
Mr. Chairperson, if I may.
Yes. Go ahead, Dean.
This is Thad. Joe, I apologize, Mr. Terry. I guess I thought I heard conflicting, I guess, figures from yourself. Can you confirm or deny or whatever that, because it sounded like you said that there is not funds available, but then you just said that there is funds available. Can you say that one more time?
Sure, I'm sorry. There are funds available in the affirmative to perform the lower pond work as budgeted and remove the dam and dredge the upper pond. There are funds available, but they just haven't been budgeted. And so there, if that was the direction that the Common Council wished to take, it'd be a fairly simple budget amendment in order to facilitate that.
Thank you. Thank you for the clarification.
Mr. Ralem, this is Dean again. That being the case, it would seem that would be something I would think if we did want to go that route, or if the council did want to go that route, we could at least put that before the council. And then the council wants to do a budget amendment, we could do that at that point, so then we would need a positive motion to do that, to take it to the council, correct?
That's my understanding.
So if there was a desire to do so, and I would obviously have to confirm with the chairperson of the Finance and Property Committee, that meeting has been postponed until next week, Tuesday. And I believe if the referral is submitted before noon tomorrow, if the action of this committee was to move in that direction, I would make time to develop that referral to get it to the committee, or at least ask the finance director, what would be appropriate there, and potentially get that in front of council this month.
I sure think we have to move along with it, and at least we have to, I think, do the lower pond and the lower dam. I think if it's the desire of the committee to approach finance to consider a budget amendment for extra amount of money to remove the upper dam, that could be part of the motion to do that. But at least I think that from my point of view, we at least have to move along with this to keep the project moving, or I guess as the one option is that we don't do anything. That's it for now anyway. But so I think at least it's to do the lower pond and the lower dam if we want to talk about added amount for the upper part of the pond, that we can do that. So I guess committee, what direction would you like to take or go on with this?
I'm going to go ahead and make a motion then to, option one, to consider the motion to define an expanded project scope, which would be a motion to dredge the lower pond, repair the lower dam, remove the upper dam, and dredge the upper pond for an estimated $307,000, so that we can move that to council. That would be my motion.
Second.
Is that a second, Jay?
Yes, it was.
Okay, thank you. Well, then, I don't have any further discussion on that, committee, if you have anything else. Otherwise, we can have a vote.
Nothing.
And the motion is to, oops.
Nope, nothing. We're good.
And the motion is to dredge the lower pond, remove the lower dam, remove the upper dam, and dredge the upper pond. Is that correct?
Do you want to fix the lower dam, right?
Yeah,
Not
repair,
remove
you
it.
said remove, but it's repair the lower dam.
Yeah, repair. Yep.
That's correct.
Okay, so okay. We all understand that then, committee, we can vote. There's no further questions. So committee will vote. All in favor, respond by aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, 3-0. With that, we'll go to item number 4. That's to review the speed limit on 2 Mile Avenue east of 16th Street.
Tom, I've got this one. This is Joe Eichstead.
Hey, Joe.
In making the recent changes to the traffic control at the intersection of 16th Street and 2 Mile Avenue, it was noted that the speed limit east of that intersection, still in the corporate limits of the city, is identified as a 35 mile per hour speed limit. However, our ordinance currently does not specify it at a 35 mile an hour speed limit. It only has it under the general 25 mile per hour speed limit at this time. And so it's kind of a general housekeeping item to request that the city ordinance be updated to accurately portray what's currently signed out in the field, which would be to identify 2 Mile Avenue east of 16th Street at a 35 mile an hour speed limit.
Has this just been a cleanup item, committee? Is there any questions by anybody?
Mr. Chairperson, if I may.
What's that?
Yeah, Mr. Chairperson, I just want a quick question. Where is the?
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Where is the city limits at past 16th? I should know that, but just for clarification, can you say that on the record?
Sure, yeah. Let me just, I've got the map up here. Take a quick look and make sure that I portray it accurately. So from 16th Street, continuing east on 2 Mile Avenue, all of 2 Mile Avenue right of way is in the city limits until you hit 20th Street South. And then the south half of 2 Mile Avenue remains in the city's corporate limits.
Did that clarify that, Dad?
Yes, thank you. Sorry about that.
Anybody else on the committee or anybody have any other comments on that? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion then to update the city traffic code to specify a 35 mile an hour speed limit on 2 Mile Avenue from 16th Street South to the east city limits.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Committee will vote. All those in favor respond by aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it, 3-0. With that is item number 5. That's to review proposals for consulting services to assist the city in purchasing necessary real estate for the West Jackson Street project. Joe, do you want to start us on that?
Sure, you bet. So we sent a request for proposal to 13 firms. And we received two proposals back, and that information is summarized in the information that was emailed out yesterday afternoon. The two proposals on hand are from Moss and Associates and Streetland. And in order to kind of compare apples to apples, I took the information from each of the proposals and tried to lay them out in their respective categories. For instance, Moss and Associates, they had a lot of cost per parcel if it were necessary type items. And so using a best guesstimate, compared it to Streetland's cost, which is basically just a more of like a lump sum type fee. And so Streetland had a proposal of $16,500, and Moss and Associates, using kind of a apples to apples comparison, was $22,875. And considering the 11 parcels that we need to acquire real estate from, all 11 parcels need temporary limited easements, and 2 of those are expected to need fee acquisition, that staff would recommend going with Streetland for the real estate services for the West Jackson Street project.
Anybody have any questions? I guess from listening to Joe explain it, comparing how he went through the process of trying to compare each to each, apples to apples, is that Streetland looks like that comes or is the, at least as I look at it and listening to this, is the best route to go. Eddie, do you have any questions or anything?
No, I don't.
No, none here.
Okay. Well, then I'd entertain a motion, and I guess make the motion that we go with Streetland with their proposal of 16,000, whatever you had there, Joe.
16,500.
500, okay.
Second.
We have a second to that motion. If there's no further questions, committee will vote. All those in favor of going with Streetland, respond by aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, 3-0. Thank you. Item number 6 is to review proposals from consulting services to develop a transportation utility model. That we've talked about here, I think, the last couple months or so. An option to look at, and I guess, Joel, would you like to lead us into this? Mr. Terry?
Yes. So the city solicited from 3 different consulting firms that we felt were capable of performing this work. We received proposals from 2 of them. One was a team of Ellers and Associates and R.E. Smith. The other was MSA Professional Services. Staff, I developed a matrix that considered from their proposal experience and relevant projects, the quality of the proposal and its content, technical competence of staff, the understanding of the scope, defined strategies and deliverables, the timeline and cost, and weighted those, and different staff members performed evaluations. The end result was that the Ellers proposal, Ellers and R.A. Smith, scored 950 points, and MSA scored 715. There were some significant differences there, and that makes the Ellers and R.A. Smith proposal, from staff's opinion, really the easy go-to. The other benefit, of course, is that proposal falls within our budget for this project. And so with that, staff's recommendation is to move this project forward and hire Ellers and R.A. Smith to perform the transportation utility study and economic analysis.
Joe, what am I missing? What was the dollar amount on the Ellers and R.A. Smith proposal?
Not to exceed 20,000.
Oh, so I see. They just said they wouldn't exceed 20,000. And
Correct.
and
So they'll start
MSA said
time and
they couldn't.
materials
I
not
see
to
it now.
exceed
I
20,000.
misunderstood it. I see it now. Okay. So it'll be $19,999.99 then? Just kidding.
I'm not so sure. Again,
Just kidding.
some of it will depend on the amount of work that the city does to put some of the property data together. And we have substantial amount of data. A few of the other municipalities, some examples, I think it was Janesville. I think that project came in, 15, 16,000. And it's a full build out, a review of every parcel. And so they have some experience there. And again, some of that will depend on the data that the city can provide. I'm hopeful that it'll come in less than that. And they did ask a lot of questions as far as what we had, in the process of them developing their proposal. So I'm confident that it won't be over 20,000, but I'm hopeful that it'll be maybe a bit less.
Okay. Good.
Anybody else? Any other questions or anything, comments? If not, committee, what would be your wishes to do here?
I'll make a motion to approve the proposal from Ellers and R.A. Smith.
I'll
Second.
second that motion. So if there's no further questions or comments by anybody from the committee will vote on that to go with Ellers and R.A. Smith with a proposal of not to exceed $20,000. Hopefully it's less. And so with that, committee will vote. All those in favor respond by aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, 3-0. Thank you. And then we're to item number 7, and that's to review our referral list. And actually, I'm going to look it over here real quick to see what right now, I don't think there's anything really to take off of there right now. I don't believe anything. Does anybody see anything different with that? If not, the referral list will stand as printed for right now. And with that, if there's nothing else, we're down to item number 8, committee, and that's adjournment. And with that, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
Second.
moved.
I'll second it, but there wasn't one. I wasn't sure if there was or not. So, anyway, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. Committee will vote. All in favor respond by aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it, 3-0. The meeting's adjourned at 6:35 p.m. Thank you, everybody.